Is it World Series or bust for Aaron Boone?
If they lose early, lose in the ALDS, get swept in the CS, and I think just for the sake of setting standards and changing it.
Founder, leader of Jomboy Media joining us right now. It's Jimmy O'Brien. You've known Todd Father for a minute. I don't think we've ever talked on a show, but been following you for a long time. Jimmy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Great to have you on. Obviously, we both got some fun content running on Bally Sports. We got your warehouse games. We'll get to that in a sec. So, state of the Yanks right now. What are you hitting on Talking Yanks lately? Do you guys feel good heading into the playoffs? I know we just got the bad news about Nestor Cortez going down. Probably not going to be back this year. If anything, maybe for the ALCS. But are you feeling like this is the best shot at a World Series title for the team in a while?
Since 2019, that was the best shot they've had in a while. I mean, 2017 was a surprise. Todd came over. That trade was actually one of the best trades they've made with Todd, Canely, and Robertson. But that was kind of like, well, whatever happens, happens. Let's have fun. And then all of a sudden, it was like, well, we got a chance here. 2019 was the best squad in this, Judge era they've entered with. This one's a little tricky because they have the talent. They have the high-end pitching. They have the top of the lineup is great. The bottom of the lineup can be feast or famine, but the biggest concern is they're just not really good at like the baseball between the skills, like just running, good defense, situational stuff is man, when they get sloppy, they get so sloppy, and it's pretty like it makes you a little forlorn. So we're coming off 2 of those games. So right now, not great, but fandom, if they win today and win the division, then yeah, great shot. Also depends who they play, because they can't beat lefties, and the Astros have a bunch of lefties. So there's like these like the lefties thing is a real deal. That it's like, well, okay, we got Kikuchi and Framber, we're done.
Well, you are hysterical because you're a monster Yankee fan, but I could hear in your voice and your tone, you're like, I don't know. Like you're kind of, you might be fed up, you're frustrated, but at the same time, they might win the division and blah, 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 and all else is good.
Might have the best record in the American League, but man.
Yeah, exactly, because you've been down that road before, and I've been down there personally. I get it. The Astros have the Yankees number, and we all know that and understand that. What is... Like, think about this. I want to talk about Jason Dominguez a little bit here. Is he a guy that has to start right now? Is he the left fielder that has to go in for the playoffs, or what do you think there?
If you asked me 3 days ago, I would have said yes. I didn't know he struggles with fly balls in left field. That's a pretty huge thing to struggle with. There were some in Seattle. It was kind of twilight. The sun was there. Even Randy Rosarena was like shielding his eyes. So I'm like, there was a day game in Seattle. We don't got to worry about in the postseason. Yesterday, he just dropped an easy one in left field, and he looked lost. So now there's like 4 examples of him being a liability in the field. When you got Soto in right, who's a DH, and you got Judge in center, who's a right fielder, you can't have a liability in the left as well. So now that's the biggest conundrum is like, yes, his bat is starting to heat up. From the left side, he can hit the ball really well. Verdugo's better defensively. So in my head right now, I feel like they're going to start Verdugo. They're going to pinch hit Dominguez in a big moment, and then Grisham goes out there for defense. But when you got a 3-person plan in left field, that's not good.
No, it's not good, and understandably. More on the Yankees here. I want to hear Nestor Cortez goes down here, which nobody had no clue about. I think, you saw him come out of the bullpen. I'm like, wow. All right, here we go. The guy, as much as he wanted to be a starter, this could be a huge bullpen piece as well. Clark Schmidt's going to have to step up. Stroman hasn't really done anything really. You think about, say they win the first series. Talk to me about the 5-man rotation they're going to use. What do you think it's going to be? And the second part is, how do you think this bullpen is going to pick up? Who's going to be the closer? Is it going to be bullpen by committee kind of deal?
The pitching is just losing innings is a daunting thing to happen before the postseason. Like Nestor was probably the 4, right? But that's a lot of innings. And now Clark's got to jump in and no one's replacing Clark in the bullpen as a long man. Stroman stays the same, I'm guessing. So you just lose innings. It happened to us when they lost Herman in 2019 and Betances, and now they're lost Nestor and Cousins. And you're like, that's not the 1-2 out of the bullpen. It's not the 1-2 out of the rotation. So it's not devastating, but it can really gas other guys out if they have to lean on guys. If they go through a 5-game set in the divisional series, they're going to lean on a lot of these pitchers, and that could get daunting. But I think Clark will join the rotation, and then Poteet becomes a long guy out of the pen. As far as the bullpen, Weaver is my favorite player. I have a crush on him. Like, I'm a little boy, and he's my idol. He's the closer. He's been awesome. Canely and Cousins were the setup guys. Cousins might come back, and Cousins got righties. Canely gets lefties. You got Ian Hamilton. He'll be a fireman. He'll come out in big spots, and they're going to use Clay Holmes in spots. Clay Holmes had 12 blown saves. He was on his way to getting the record for most blown saves in a season, or he had 11. They moved him out of the closer role. Since then, he's blown 2 more saves in the 7th and 8th inning. He's 1 away from tying the record, and they still are using him in situations where you can't. And they're going to do that in the postseason, and I'm going to be on a live stream pulling my hair out and screaming.
All right, so actually that's a good transition to my next topic here, because obviously you're doing a ton of different things for a while now in new media, whatever you want to call it, right? So where do you think we are with the state of baseball media? I mean, I worked for the league for a long time. Now I'm doing this. I'm having the time of my life. Like, I know you've talked about this quite a bit publicly. So can you sum up where we think the sport is, specifically baseball? You can compare it to other sports if you'd like, and what you think the future is.
We're in the best spot baseball's been in a while. So if you go back to 2016, nothing existed outside of linear TV or MLB's social accounts. Nothing. If you tweeted out a GIF, they would delete your account. Pitching Ninja, that happened to him in 2016. And he was like, I'm just promoting the game. Like, what are we doing? And that was when they changed, and they said, okay, we won't be the Gestapo anymore. We're not going to shut everyone down that tries to spread our own game. But they didn't announce it publicly that you could do it. So my timing just happened to be perfect, because I was like, well, if they shut me down, whatever, I got nothing to lose. I started in 2017. But I just kept doing more and more and more, and it turned out they weren't really coming after people. And now we have so many baseball creators that are covering the game, doing, essay style videos like Jolly Olive, Foolish Baseball. You got fan accounts, you have highlight accounts, you guys, us, Hosmer and Moylan. There's just a ton of baseball coverage out there now that's not traditional, not sanctioned by the league. And that's a good thing, because you get different voices then and different styles, and you let creatives be creative. So I think we're in the best spot we've been. It's just a tough sport for like the youth or casual fans. It's not one game a week. It's hard to be a casual baseball fan when if you miss a week, you could miss all of a sudden this guy's not hot anymore and this guy's the hero and you're lost. It's like there's 6 games. If you go on vacation, a lot can change. So it's still just the nature of the sport. 162 games, 185 days, or whatever, or 180 days, whatever it is. It's still tough to follow casually, in my opinion.
Do you think Major League Baseball is catching on though? Do you think that they have changed from the top down? Because it's still hard to run things through, however you run your Jomboy stuff, but like MLB still, I don't know if it's MLB, YouTube, whoever, they still put a stop to some things. It's not like you can just grab any clip off of MLB.com and run it. I mean, they'll still come at you and say, all right, take that down. Please take that down. Take that down. Like, do you think they'll ever catch up to like what the NBA does, what the NFL does, where they kind of let people run with it because they want the publicity of it being out there?
Yeah, it's all these rights deals and how they package them, and they oversold the rights, and then it's a mess of that jargon and speak. But I wouldn't say it's the changes are happening top down. I think they're happening bottom up. I think they're hiring new, like, younger employees that are then like, hey, this would be a fun idea. And they run up to their boss, and their boss is and then stops it. And then they run it up again. And slowly we're like breaking through the ceilings to get to the top. who understand it. Yeah, I do think that they understand that they really understand that they were late to social media and YouTube. They had BAM, which is Baseball Advanced Media, and if you were a kid from 2010 to 2018, 2020, you couldn't find baseball highlights. Baseball highlights did not find you. You had to go find them. You go www.mlb.com, Derek Jeter, and that's how you could watch Derek Jeter highlights. You didn't open up Instagram and all of a sudden it was on your feed. And they know they botched that. They know they were late to YouTube and late to social media. What I think they're not understanding now is creators and the creator space. And all these other leagues are going to places like you guys, places like Jomboy Media, places like Barstool Sports, and spending their media budget, their marketing budget with creator-led media instead of spending on traditional linear commercials and ads. And I think Major League Baseball is still, they don't realize how behind they are on that, because us, who we get like proposals, requests for proposals from other leagues, and in Major League Baseball, I think it would be like, they are in shock when they hear that. They're like, what?
Yeah, like what? They want to pay you to talk about the sport? Why don't they just pay us? Well, there can be other options. So.
Yeah, like we get other leagues that say, hey, can you make some videos and do for us what you do for baseball? And I'm like, yes. I wish baseball knew that.
Dude, touche.
Yeah, but they can't control you.
Right.
They can't control what your message is going to be or what you say. That's the problem.
You're independent. So unless
it's
they
true.
can check
but they have been nice to us. They haven't.
Yes.
They've never shut us down. They've never been like a giant thorn. Like we do have a relationship, and it's just really trying to blend and understand both sides of like where they're coming from, where we're coming from. So it's not been like, we haven't been butting heads. So like, I think they are going to end up in a good spot here.
Yeah. But that's why media in general, the reason why people get press passes and, got players talk to media, the whole deal, it promotes the sport. If you just turn the lights off on all of that, watch how quickly people would not be in the loop on anything, right? If players didn't get asked any questions, if there were no shows, all of that, like that, this is the best free promotion of a sport that you could ever imagine. And you are spot on, by the way, from someone who used to work at the league. My main boss when I was at the network, who's not there for years now, but exactly what you said. You'd work with plenty of good people, great ideas, bring it to the top. And I'm talking to, a lawyer from the 90s. So it's just that is how that specific lane existed. We butted heads quite a bit, so I can say that, but you're spot on.
Not to knock lawyers, because lawyers who do lawyering is a good thing. Major League Baseball, you name a position, it feels like they're a lawyer. You're like, wait, you're VP of sales? Yeah, but I was a lawyer. It's like, wait, you're head of marketing? Yeah, but I was a lawyer. It's like, hey, let the lawyers do the lawyer stuff, because otherwise you're just gatekeeping everything by nature of what they're trained to do.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who went to law school. They did not teach them about content and baseball media there. They taught them how to litigate it, but not how to do it. So spot on.
Listen, we got a problem. Half our viewers are not even subscribed. Hit the subscribe button. Do it.
I love a great deal, but I'm not going to run sprints in the outfield just to save a few bucks. It has to be easy. No hoops, no BS. With Mint Mobile, it really is that easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan. Purchase and activation is super easy too.
To get started, go to mintmobile.com/territory. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number.
To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/territory. That's mintmobile.com/territory. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/territory.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on their first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Let's talk about warehouse games for a moment for our audience. Let us know what you're doing, where you're at with it, and I guess same thing, like how that came about and what you think the future of it is.
Yeah, we started playing blitzball, which is like it's a wiffle ball, but it's condensed. You can throw it faster, hit it farther. It's fun. I grew up taping wiffle balls to throw it faster, hit it farther, and we used to play in our alley in the Bronx. We got the boot from there. The maintenance man was like, "Please stop! I will lose my job if you get hurt back here." So then we had to go like around and play other places, which is where we ended up at Todd's place, playing him and Nikki Cass. Got Todd big swing and miss on my fork ball. It's okay. I watch it a lot. And then we were like, dragging the cameras and this whole production everywhere is a lot. Let's get a warehouse and turn that into our stadium. And after COVID, there was some available for like relatively a decent deal. And so we did that. And then once we had that in place, I just started dreaming of everything it could become and owning our own IP, building our own stuff. We have full control of everything. So we've built this world where we have these like 8 different franchises, all these different players. We turn, your average sport and turn them into a backyard wiffle ball adjacent with like weird rules. We do like a version of cricket, a version of hockey, a version of handball, version of baseball. And Chris Rose does play-by-play. We fly in professional color commentators that are from hockey, cricket, baseball world. Peter Moylan does the baseball adjacent. We have Kelsey Wingert on sideline. So it's like the whole thing is it's a ridiculous creator league where you're not tuning in to see the best athletes. You're tuning in to see something that should never be taken seriously.
Okay. By the way, I someone that's worked with Chris Rose for like 20 plus years, man, his career, rocket ship, right? He went from battle bots to warehouse games, baby. I can't wait to text Rosie and be like, man, Rosie, you are really moving on up in the world.
It's because he had you on Best Damn back
That's
in
true.
the day.
Best Damn. Then we did playoffs together for years.
Yeah.
Look at him go. I mean, Rosie's hot now.
He's amazing. He's my favorite. I mean, he brings life to everything. We do these long days. We shoot 4 games a day. It's 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Rose is screaming and laughing and making jokes all day in this dusty warehouse. He's incredible.
It was on the other day. I will say this. I was somewhere and it was on and I was like, what the heck is that? And it was like, you guys were playing like some fake cricket and there were these fat guys running around. And I'm like, this isn't cricket, but what exactly do you call it? And it was on silent. It was in like a restaurant. So I could only see.
It's on Bally Sports.
No, I know, but I obviously had no idea what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I could just see these fat guys with sticks running back and the guy would hit it. And I was like, this is kind of like cricket, but it's not cricket.
Yeah, it's a blend of baseball and cricket. We have professional cricket players come out, and each team gets a professional cricket player from the U.S.'s Major League Cricket to play with us. But it's funny because, their skills don't translate perfectly. Everything is, you're playing in, there's walls everywhere. So it's a great equalizer. Trevor Plouffe, big leaguer, 106 home runs to his name. He plays every year. But because he smashes one as hard as he can, it hits the ceiling, just come right down my lap, he's out.
Hey, rules are rules, baby. Got to find a way to do that. My question to you is it World Series or bust for Aaron Boone, man? Because a lot of people have been talking about him. I feel like this is a big one for him. I think they got to win the World Series. This is a big opportunity for their manager.
I think it's Michael Kay recently said on his show that if they lose early, lose in the ALDS, get swept in the CS like they did in 2021, embarrassingly again, then I think just for the sake of setting standards and changing it, I love Boone. He's a great guy. Comes on the show every week with us. It's fun. But yeah, World Series or bust. I think if they make a deep, long run, they'll pick up his option and say, we like what we're doing here. Cause they don't want him. They don't like making changes that much anymore. But the problems that seem to be arising are way deeper than the major league level. It's like, I think it's across baseball too. Is so many kids come up from the minors and aren't taught the game between the skills. And, you had minor league players say that a couple years ago. Like, we just do hit it hard, throw it hard competitions, and situational stuff is gone.
It's crazy. It's
They also play everyone out of position. For 3 years, the Yankees haven't had someone playing a proper position.
What is it? Wait, hold up. Judge is a right fielder naturally. Dominguez is a center fielder naturally. They have Judge
Soto's
in
a
center instead
DH.
of right, and Soto's a left fielder, and he's playing right. So they're all three out of position.
Jazz Chisholm is a second baseman.
But Glaber won't play third. Remember, he's a second baseman too.
Yeah,
Don't
he's the
forget.
worst second baseman in the league, but he's there. He's hitting the hell out of the ball. That's great. Statistically at second, not there. So yeah, they got some issues there. Now Jazz is very athletic. He's been playing great at third, but if you look at their roster, when you look at Birdie, Oswaldo, like all the pieces they have, there's just like probably three better different defensive linemen you can come up with.
Okay, fair enough. All right, did you see what Ollie Marmol said when he got ejected last time? Did you see his comments?
I read them. We were trying to find if he said them out loud, but I don't think it was on recorded that he was going to start arguing in Spanish. So I couldn't read his lips.
So do you have a translator ready?
Yes, I have two. I have two. I have Joe's McFly and Lou Dapp. They're part of Del Caribe in the warehouse games, and Joe's does a ton of stuff with us. What I do, I've been doing this for a while. I send them slow-mo of the lips of the Spanish players, and then I send them a voice recording and say, it's like this. Blah, 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 blah. And then they say the words. We've done it a couple of times.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. Hey,
that's good.
That's when you know you're global. You're global.
Yes, that's great.
That's good business right there.
Yes, I love it. And by the way, Mike Schilt, every time I see Mike Schilt, because the one you did where you broke down his ejection in New York, where he's like, I don't even want to argue, but I have to get thrown out. I'm like, Mike, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
with Manny, protecting Manny?
Yeah,
That's
and he's
fun.
like, that damn Jomboy. Next time I got to argue like this because I don't want anyone to read my lips.
Yeah, it's like football now. You got to put
the
something
Dan
in front.
Campbell commercial where he holds the playbook over his mouth, and he's like, when they're trying to order, he's like,
oh, yeah.
No, they'll hear you. They'll hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, dude, awesome having you on. Appreciate the time. Keep doing your thing. And obviously for our fans watching on Valley Sports TV, you can catch warehouse games as well all over. They air it a ton. So, Jimmy, thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.